To be the President of the United States at the end of the 20th century has been both an honor and a privilege. As I look back over the last 100 years, I see a heroic story, a story of good, hard-working, imaginative people, an exuberant people who built our country with their optimism and their prayers. A story of immigrants who dared to dream of what their lives and their children's lives might someday become. A story of a land where even a boy from a small town in Arkansas could hope to one day, someday, help make those people's dreams come true.
Political pundits are saying Clinton is dead in the water and he doesn't know it.
He's swimming around with two Bermuda stuff.
Clinton has been shot, stabbed, and electrocuted.
On election eve, the polls show Clinton has bottomed out. An editor of a New Hampshire newspaper calls Clinton toast.
I think we know enough to say with some certainty that New Hampshire tonight has made Bill Clinton the comeback kid.
Bill Clinton is nominated as the candidate of the Democratic Party for president by acclamation.
Al Gore and I want to liberate you from the raw deal of the last 12 years.
When the history of this campaign is written, they may say, well, Bill Clinton took a lot of hits in this campaign. The hits that I took in this election are nothing compared to the hits that the people of this state and this country are taking every day of their lives under this administration.
Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
Thomas Jefferson believed that to preserve the very foundations of our nation, we would need dramatic change from time to time. Well, my fellow Americans, this is our time. We've got to turn our country around economically, person by person, family by family, town by town. At the end of the decade, the deficit will be $635 billion a year. We inherit an economy that is weakened by business failures, stagnant wages, increasing inequality.
President Clinton has not stepped away from the American dream.
The other day on the front page of our paper, big article about an 11-year-old child planning her funeral. These are the hymns I want sung. This is a dress I want to wear. I know I'm not going to live very long. That is not the freedom. The freedom to die before you're a teenager is not what Martin Luther King lived and died for.
Mr. President, these are your people.
We are white and black, Asian and Hispanic, Christian and Jew and Muslim. But above all, we are still Americans. What you have done has demonstrated to a watching and often weary and cynical world that good can overcome evil, that love can outlast hate, that the light of human life can shine on through the most terrible darkness.
The current and next President of the United States, President Bill Clinton.
Because we have acted, millions of children will be able to get medicine and have their sight and hearing tested and see dentists and doctors for the first time. We have cleaned up more toxic waste dumps. The deficit has gone down all 4 years. We cut crime with 100,000 community police and the Brady Law. Because we have acted, millions of young Americans will be able to go on to college. My fellow Americans, the state of our union is the strongest it has ever been.
Roger, Belfast, we have the field in sight.
From Belfast to Jerusalem, American leadership has helped Catholics and Protestants, Jews and Arabs to walk the streets of their cities with less fear of bombs and violence. From Kuwait to Sarajevo, the brave men and women of our armed forces are working to stand down aggression and stand up for freedom.
It is time for us to say that it is no longer acceptable to discuss women's rights as separate from human rights.
In my travels as president, I've been touched by the ability that America has to fire the imagination, lift the hopes, and stiffen the spines of freedom-loving people everywhere. My fellow Americans, tonight, for the first time in 79 days, the skies over Yugoslavia are silent. The 1 million men, women, and children driven from their land are preparing to return home.
We have a profound trust in your resolve and your leadership so powerfully demonstrated again this year in Kosovo. I believe the extraordinary victory in Kosovo has been underestimated.
I've had the privilege of being a friend of presidents since late President Eisenhower. But on the subject of peace, I have never known someone with your dedication, clear-headedness, focus, and determination.
Few leaders of the United States have such a feeling for the position of the black people and the minorities and the disabled in this country.
History will record that few have worked more tirelessly or more effectively than the President of the United States to prevent the breakdown of the peace process.
You should have seen the way he was received by the General Assembly of the United Nations. The applause was spontaneous and overwhelming.
If you look at the American economy, you look at the respect with which America is held right around the world today, if you look at the standing and authority of the president, it's a pretty impressive record for anyone.
That is the man, my friend, who I respect so much.
As my chapter in the White House comes to a close, America's story is far from over. It's a dazzling, brave, improbable story, and each of us is blessed to have played a part in it. Hillary, Chelsea, and I are as awed today by the majesty of America and the simple grandeur of the White House as we were the first day we arrived. It's been an interesting, exhilarating, challenging, sometimes fun, and always rewarding journey. One that began 8 years ago in a place called Hope and led us not only to peace, but to the longest period of prosperity in the life of this country. I am humbled by our people's greatness, and perhaps even more important, by your goodness. The stars have never shone more brightly on any nation, anywhere, at any time. To be alive at this moment, to call ourselves American, is an honor few are given, and all of us share. As I leave this great office, I believe the only things we have yet to achieve are the things we have yet to dream.